Today we are reviewing algebraic equations. Please copy the standard benchmark indicator on a clean page in your math notebook. The student will model and solve algebraic equations. Wow, our words of wisdom. Expression, a mathematical phrase that combines operations, numbers, and variables. Example, x plus 5 or 4n minus 6. Coefficient, a number that multiplies a variable. Example, 3 and 3x. Equation, a statement that two mathematical expressions are equal. It always has to have an equal sign. An expression does not, an equation does. And our example for equation is 50 plus n equals 75. Term, a number, variable, product, or quotient in an expression. Example, 6x or 5x or 3. They're always separated by some sort of operation. Variable, a letter or symbol representing some number. Example, the n in 10 plus n. And finally, constant, a number that does not change. In our example, 5 plus x equals 12, 5 and 12 are the constants. Variables and expressions. A variable is a quality that can change or vary. Mathematicians use letters to represent variables. A quantity that does not change is a constant. An expression is a mathematical phrase involving constants, variables, and operation symbols. There are different ways to represent different operations. 4 examples are shown below. Addition, x plus 6, where x is a variable and 6 is a constant. Subtraction, 91 minus x, where x is a variable and 91 is a constant. Multiplication, 3x or 3 times x, is typically written as the first one because as we start using x as a variable, we don't use the x as a multiplication symbol. We go to the little dot that's floating midair, or we just put 3x and we put them right next to each other, and we know that means multiplication. So in that one, x again is a variable and 3 is the constant. And then division, 12 divided by x, either written out with the division sign or written as a fraction. X is a variable and 12 is the constant. If you know the values of the variable, you can evaluate the expression by replacing the variable with each value. This is known as substituting a value for the variable. Example, evaluate 2x for x equals 4, 6, and 8. 2x means 2 times x. So to evaluate the expression, you need to substitute a value for x. When x equals 4, substitute 4 for x. You can make a table to evaluate the expression for multiple values of x. So here we've got x equals 4, so we have 2 times 4 is 8. Then x equals 6, so 2 times 6 is 12. And x equals 8, so 2 times 8 is 16. So when it's just an expression and not an equation, you can evaluate for any value that you are given. Try it. Evaluate x plus 12 for x equals 2, 5, and 10. Substitute 2 for x and then solve. 2 plus 12 is 14. Then B, substitute 5 for x, so 5 plus 12 is 17. Then we substitute 10 for x and we solve. 10 plus 12 is 22. Then we're going to evaluate each expression below for x equals 2, 5, and 10. So for D, we have 6x, which means 6 times x. So 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 5 is 30, and 6 times 10 is 60. For E, x minus 1, we're going to substitute in 2 minus 1 is 1, 5 minus 1 is 4, and 10 minus 1 is 9. For F, we have 50 divided by x. So 50 divided by 2 is 25, 50 divided by 5 is 10, and 50 divided by 10 is 5. For G, we have 27 plus x. So 27 plus 2 is 29, 27 plus 5 is 32, and 27 plus 10 is 37. For H, we have 16 minus x. So 16 minus 2 is 14, 16 minus 5 is 11, and 16 minus 10 is 6. For I, we have 100 divided by x. So 100 divided by 2 is 50, 100 divided by 5 is 20, and 100 divided by 10 is 10. Solving equations. Sometimes you need to find the exact value that will make an equation true. This is known as solving the equation. Think of equations as questions where the variable is read as what number. For example, a plus 3 equals 10 can be read as what number plus 3 equals 10. Use mental math to answer the question. Example, solve y minus 8 equals 7. Step 1, read as what number minus 8 equals 7. Use mental math. 15 minus 8 is 7, and then check to see if that equation is true. In the equation y minus 8 equals 7, y is equal to 15. The other way to solve the problem is to look at it and go, okay, I need to get y by itself. How do I get rid of the 8? Okay, well, minus 8, if we add 8, that will cancel it out. But whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do the other. So we're going to add 8 to both sides, which then shows us that y equals 15. The nice thing about equations is they are self-checking. You put your answer back in the equation, and if it's true, you found the correct answer. If it's not, you need to go back and try again. Try it. Solve a plus 5 equals 12. What number plus 5 equals 12? We know 5 plus 7 equals 12, so a must equal 7. For the next two questions, we're looking at solve 3x equals 18. Well, we know we're multiplying when it's 3x, so if we divide by 3 on both sides to cancel out the multiplication, we will figure out that x equals 6. For the next one, solve m divided by 3 equals 20. We know to reverse division, we're going to multiply it, so we're going to multiply both sides by 3. Okay, for g, we have y plus 15 equals 50. So to get y by itself and cancel out the addition, we're going to subtract 15 from both sides, which tells us that y is 35. For h, we have b minus 4 equals 8. So to get b by itself and cancel out the minus 4, we're going to add 4 to both sides. So that means b equals 12. And if we plug it back in, 12 minus 4 is indeed 8. For I, we have w divided by 2 equals 6. So to reverse the division, we're going to multiply by 2 on both sides. And then we get w equals 12. For j, we have 3 times c equals 27. So we're going to divide by 3 on both sides to get the c by itself. So 27 divided by 3 gets us 9, and if we plug that back in, 3 times 9 does equal 27. K, we have 28 minus p equals 19. This one's a little trickier. So what we can do on this one is we can take 28 minus 19, which will get us the missing value. If we do 28 minus 19, we get 9. If we plug it back in, 28 minus 9 does equal 19. Finally, for L, we have t plus 8 equals 26, so we're going to subtract 8 on both sides to get t by itself. and that gets us 18 for T. Please make sure all the work is copied down and both pages are glued in your math notebook.